I hope you are ready for it. Rachel Leviss is cashing in on Scandoval finally. We also have Jax Taylor calling out Katie Maloney. I actually visited Jax in Studio City, so I'll give you all of that inside scoop. And plus, Shannon Beador off to rehab? No, she's off to her next Tres Amigas show. Let's dive in. Oh, hi, it's me, Zack Peter, pop culture junkie, reality TV insider, published author, and host of the No Filter with Zack Peter podcast. Here I'll bring you all the latest news on the Real Housewives, deep dives into celebrity legal scandals, and unfiltered convos with your favorite stars. I've got you covered. And yes, I always keep receipts. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest tea. Now, let's dive in. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Everybody in the club. What's going on? What's going on? Let's get it. Okay, so we will get into our tidbits of tea. We're going to talk about Jax calling out Katie. We have a lot to get into. I went to go visit Jax's in Studio City, his new bar, which apparently is now open. That I'll dive into in the end of this episode because we have a lot that we have to get through. But let's start with a couple tidbits of tea. They're not much of the tidbits. People are dragging Teresa and her daughters for doing a Shein ad. I guess Shein approached them, and so they decided, why rock She by Sheree when they can rock Shein? Shein by Sheree. I think it's fine. I guess Shein is a little cheap. It is. It's fast fashion. I feel like most fast fashion is cheap. It's like H&M. I mean, if they were doing an H&M campaign, people wouldn't be as like on them about it. I feel like, listen, let her and her daughters make some cash and live life. They have to pay for, all of Louis' fake Cartier watches. So you do you, Teresa. We're trying to make sure we don't go back to prison. So whatever keeps the bills paid, you go, girl. It is a little tacky. Like if you're going to do, at least do like Pretty Little Thing. At least that brand is a little more elevated versus Shein. I bought a couple things from Shein. They're all terrible. I mean, they look cute, but again, it's fast fashion. They don't really last. I would have liked to have seen them do Pretty Little Thing or even like Fashion Nova. I feel like those are a little more on brand. Because at least they're a little younger, they're a little more fresh. But listen, you do you, Teresa. Let's help Louis pay those bills. Also, announcement. Well, couple announcements. One, just wanted to remind you, I'm doing a live show at the Bourbon Room November 19th. Get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. It is a Friendsgiving show. Lots of very special guests that'll be making appearances. So get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. It's at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood. So if you're in LA, November 19th, that is a Sunday. You're going to want to go and get your tickets to Friendsgiving, nofilterlive.com. And also, No Filter is moving from 3 days a week to now becoming a weekly morning show, okay? So I will be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay? I will be streaming live on YouTube at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, and then immediately that audio will get uploaded. The audio and video will get uploaded onto Apple Podcasts, Spotify, so you'll be able to watch the show the same day. It's all going to be back to back. So Monday morning, I'm going to be here. Tuesday morning, I'm going to be here. Wednesday morning, I'm going to be here. Thursday morning, I'm going to be here. And then Fridays, we're going to have bonus members only episodes where I'm going to give you like real sorts of inside tea, being like, so like all of my stories about like being at the House of Villains premiere and meeting Jax, meeting Abby Lee Miller. Did I even tell you? I think I told you guys a little bit about meeting her. That was wild. Going to Jax's, hanging out with Kristen at Jax's, all of those stories will now become members only stories that I'll spill on Fridays. We'll even get into like my personal life, my dating life, all that good stuff. Maybe a little bit of my sex life. We'll see. But so Fridays will be members only episodes. You can sign up for a membership on Apple, or you can keep your membership here on YouTube if you're a member of the Zack Pack. Just letting you know, you'll have 5 episodes a week now. 4 full free episodes and 1 bonus members only episode every single week. I'll be live streaming on YouTube at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. So mark your calendars, and we'll have our morning commute together. Or if you're on the East Coast, then we'll have your lunch commute, your lunch break together. All right, let's dive into all the tea. Jax Taylor is calling out Katie Maloney for being mean. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? So Jax was just at a live show. I think it was like a Bravo trivia night that he was doing at City Winery out in Boston. And he said that he doesn't like Katie Maloney right now because she's actually mean to his wife, Brittany Cartwright, right? She says that, or he says that Katie's head has gotten so big that she's riding off of Ariana's coattails as Ariana's over there doing her shimmy, shimmy, shimmy on Dancing with the Stars. He says that she won't return any of Brittany's calls, Katie, and that they haven't talked in forever. So he's like, my wife's trying to get a hold of her, and she thinks she's too good for us now because she thinks she's all Scandoval and she thinks she's all big and bad. Yeah, I do have an interesting interaction with Katie when I was at the Bourbon Room for Sheena show. Maybe I'll save that for members only, but I'll talk about my interaction with the cast that night and my interaction specifically with Katie that night. I kind of listen. I think Katie. I think I believe that maybe she's kind of avoiding Brittany. I think she's in Scandoval land. They're all kind of hanging out together. They're all kind of doing their own thing right now because that's the popular thing to do. And there's not much value that, she gains from Brittany. Was she ever really that close to Brittany? Do we remember? Was she ever that close to Brittany? I feel like the others, like Lala was close to Brittany. Sheena was close to Brittany. I don't know about Katie. Katie was always close to like Kristen and Stassi. And now I don't think she's really that close to Kristen or Stassi. Now she is really close to Ariana, though, but that makes sense because they have the sandwich shop, Something About Her, which is supposed to be coming soon. So I don't know. There's something about Katie. But so Katie then jumps in on the drama and she responds to someone in the DMs. And this was screenshotted and shared by Scandoval Threads on Instagram, saying that Brittany hasn't called her and that she just saw Brittany at Sheena's birthday party and they were fine. So she's like, Jax is just being Jax. He's just being drama. I'm not mean to Brittany. Like, she just kind of laughed it off, which also, to be fair, Jax kind of does these things and he, gets everybody all worked up about things that are minuscule. I think our no filter account is still blocked by Jax. I mean, maybe Brittany like made a fly comment to Jax about how, oh, I've been trying to reach her and she won't even call me back. She probably thinks she's too good or whatever. Like Brittany probably said something in passing and then Jax read too much into that and blew it up. And now here he is calling out Katie. And then so she goes and she denies it, right? Katie Maloney. And then Jax Taylor jumps back in and he claps back and he's like, BS, drop the receipts. She is mean. She is mean to my wife. If she's been calling Brittany or whatever, then show me the receipts. Show me that, I don't know what receipts he wants her to show, but he wants some receipts from Katie to prove that she's not mean. And she's just like, I don't care. Katie doesn't give a shit. Katie does not give a fuck if you think she's mean or not mean or anything. Katie's like, I'm just going to live my life. Okay. Bye. So I think Katie, I don't know if it's ego, but she does have this like haughtiness to her, right? Where she's a little, I don't want to say pretentious or acts like she's better than everybody, but she kind of does act like she's better than everybody. And I get that. And so I think in this case, Country Bumpkin Brittany just wasn't that important to her and wasn't a priority for her. And so if you're not a priority, why is she going to make an effort? Right. Let's move on to Rocky Rocky Bang Bang because Rachel Leviss is now selling her TomTom merch. So Rachel has announced, because she's no longer Raquel, she's officially changed it to Rachel. And when you've officially changed it on Instagram, that's how you know it's real. Don't tell the government, but your real name changes when you make it on Instagram. But so Rachel Leviss announced on her Instagram that she's going to be auctioning off her TomTom sweaters. Iconically, the one that she wore to BravoCon. Remember when Katie called her a fangirl because she was on stage literally in just the oversized TomTom hoodie. That's all she wore and probably like a little bit of underwear. Remember? And then you saw the photos of her and Ariana like rocking out to Tom's show. Like that was so gross. And you see them just like together, like with Tom on stage, and you just know like they're both banging him, and it was just awkward. So anyway, she's auctioning off the sweaters and she's also auctioning off the lightning bolt necklace. Remember the one that she bought? What did she pay? Like $700 for it. She bought it. It was on camera with what's her name? Charlie. And Charlie's like, yes, girl, invest in yourself. If you don't spend good money on good jewelry, then who else will do that? You do you. You bang your best friend's man. Get it, girl. No, I'm just kidding. Charlie never endorsed that, but she did tell her, like, absolutely go and buy this necklace. Well, proceeds for that necklace are supposed to benefit NAMI, which is the National Alliance of Mental Health, because she announced this on World Mental Health Day. She said that these items are just very triggering for her, and so now she's going to dip out on them, and she's already ready to change up her environment to set herself up for success because, yeah, I'm about that right now. That's a direct quote from her. Yeah, I'm about that right now. So she says she wants something good to come of all of this, which, I mean, great. She was just on, Bethany's #1 podcast in the entire galaxy talking about how she was mad that she didn't make any money off of Scandoval, but at least she's trying to do it for charity. At least she's raising money for a good cause. I low-key want the lightning bolt, but last time I checked, it was already at like $2,000 in the bidding, and so, yeah. Let's see. What is it at currently? I feel like it's probably going to be okay. So as of right now, as of Wednesday morning, the lightning bolt is at $3,000, and so there's still another 6 days left to bid. So like that's gonna be some good money for charity. You know what? Good for Rocky Rocky Bang Bang. Let her make that money. Wow, guys, the TomTom sweaters are the current bid is $8,200, and again, there's still 6 days left to bid. Who is gonna pay 10 grand? Well, I mean, I guess she left her coochie juices on it because like she was wearing nothing underneath it. That is wild. Like truly, truly, what that people are gonna pay. Probably by the end of this, it's gonna be 10 grand. Could you imagine paying 10 grand for a used TomTom sweater? That's crazy. That's truly insane. I just don't understand why people would bid that. I mean, it's a cute sweater, but like, why do I? Can't you get like oh, she has 2 of them that she's putting up. Can't you get like, I don't know. Oh my god, her eBay name. I don't want to make fun of her because she's, it's very innocent. But her her eBay name is Rachel with the lights. I'm assuming she's referring to the galaxy lights. I think that it's all very comical. She doesn't do herself any favor. Like, she doesn't make it hard to like not crack a joke because it's just, Oh God, Rocky Rocky Bang Bang. What a time to be alive when you can get a TomTom sweater for 10 grand on the internet. And at least it's a tax write-off, right? Oh, yeah, I'm not bidding 3 grand. Well, I didn't want the hoodie. I didn't want her coochie hoodie. I wanted the necklace because at least, I don't know, I could have worn that. Like if I ever interviewed Tom Sandoval one day, I would wear it like the necklace. No, that would probably be super mean and triggering for him. But like, I mean, yeah, whatever. Okay. Shall we move on to more tea? Well, one thing I do want to give a little nod and shout out to is my pals at Chomps. Chomps makes snacking simple. They're tasty meat sticks packed with mouth-watering flavor and only the best real ingredients. Each delicious Chomps meat stick has the protein your body needs, over 9 grams per stick and 0 sugar. They're low carb, keto friendly, allergy friendly, and don't contain any fillers. Okay. I've been up in the gym, just working on my fitness. He's my witness. Boom. Okay. And got to make sure the guns be looking good. So we need that protein. Chomp sticks are simply made with natural ingredients that you can feel good about. Easy and convenient. Throw them in your bag. Take on the go. No refrigeration required. It's kind of why I love them. I carry them with me on the go in between meetings or tapings. Right after the gym, just grab me a nice little chomp stick on my way out of Orange Theory. They're available in 9 flavors. My favorite is their jalapeno beef because it's yummy. I love a little spice, love a little kick. So if you want to give Chomps a try, use code ZACK20 for 20% off your order at chomps.com. That's code ZACK20, ZACK20, ZACK20 at chomps.com today. Okay. This episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. Do you ever just find yourself as you're trying to fall asleep and your brain suddenly won't stop talking? Maybe it's just like rambling about Rachel Leviss and all the theories that we have about the affair with Tom Sandoval. Well, if your thoughts start racing before bed or at other inopportune times, get ready, okay? Because I know what it's like to feel overwhelmed. And it turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk through them. Therapy gives you a place to do just that. Shannon Beador, I highly recommend it, okay? Get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/nofilter today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/nofilter for 10% off your first month. Okay, let's talk Shannon Storms Beador, because she's now in treatment, sort of. So TMZ is reporting that Shannon is currently in an outpatient behavioral wellness program with an alcohol component. I don't really know what behavioral wellness program means or what she's doing exactly. Maybe it's the Rachel Leviss plan. You know, you go and you make some macaroni art and you talk through your past trauma. I don't really know, but this doesn't sound like rehab to me. She's not going into, like, I don't even know, like, what is with an alcohol component mean? Like, we're going to do a wellness program. We're going to go to a shaman. We're going to light some sage and put it up our cooch like a jade egg, like to make sure we cleanse the demons. I don't really know what we're doing, what this actually means. Behavioral wellness program. Outpatient means she's not staying there, so it's not like a rehab. They try to make me go to rehab, and I said, no, no, no. Yes, I've been black, but when I come back, don't, no, no, no. So they tried to make Shannon go to rehab, and she said, no, no, no. She's going to go to an outpatient behavioral wellness program with an alcohol component. So she's also still doing her upcoming Tres Amigas shows at the Brea Improv, but apparently they're going to tweak the show so that it's focused less on drinking and that there's less alcohol consumption in it, and it's going to focus more on their friendship because Shannon does not plan to drink at these events. I don't know. Do we think that this is actually going to be beneficial for her? I mean, I guess it's going to be kind of like therapy, right? But I don't know. I'm sure it's not cheap. I'm sure it's gonna be, it's expensive to be me. That's just who I be. It's expensive to be me as long as I can still drink. I don't know. Do we think that she should be doing the Tres Amigas live shows? Does she maybe need to take a break? Should she go into rehab? I don't know. She's clearly not in rehab. This outpatient program seems like the bare minimum that she's doing in order to just kind of skirt by and like be okay, you know? But who knows? Maybe after this outpatient behavioral wellness program with an alcohol component, then she can go on the #1 podcast in the entire galaxy and tell her truth. We do have part 2 of the conclusion, actually, of the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion. Reunion, baby, which I will be recapping for the Ringer Reality TV podcast. So stay tuned for that. Every Friday, I recap OC and I recap Southern Charm with Rachel Lindsay. You may know her from The Bachelor Nation. So we recap them together on Morally Corrupt, which is part of the Ringer Reality TV podcast every Friday. Okay. But yeah, I think Shannon Beador is literally doing the bare minimum. I'm super disappointed in this because we saw her just, ripping down the streets in Newport Beach like she's, Tokyo Drift, making sure she's taking Archie to go for a walk. We never heard about that. The Paw Patrol never gave us an update on whether or not they were coming for Archie. I guess not. So yeah. Okay, what else should we talk about? Should we talk about Real Houses in New York? Since everyone's like, oh my God, it's finally coming to an end. Everyone's like, oh my God, so amazing. I love Real Houses of New York. It's so refreshing. There's no toxic drama. It's just lighthearted fun. Well, I don't know how much people are enjoying a lighthearted fun because according to Bravo ratings, it didn't do so hot, y'all. It didn't really perform. It's down to just over 400,000 viewers, 416,000 viewers, with a .12 in the 18 to 49 demo. So these are not strong ratings, to be honest with you. I mean, that's kind of what Shep did on Watch What Happens Live the night before. Southern Charm is beating it out. It's just, I don't know. It's the rate people clearly aren't watching it. I mean, I guess Salt Lake City isn't doing like that much better. I know cable ratings are down overall. Um, so yeah. It's okay. A lot of people are saying that they're tuning into it less and less because they think it's kind of a snooze fest and they're kind of losing interest. Everybody's coming for Psy right now, and I don't really understand why there's like so much hatred towards Psy and why everybody's like obsessed with Jezel. I personally don't love or hate any of them. Psy to me is just kind of, or sorry, not Psy. Jezel to me is obnoxious. Jenna Lyons was like kind of interesting for a minute, but she's just kind of quirky and strange, and I don't really know how I feel about her. Brynn at least makes it kind of funny because she gives like good witty one-liners in her confessionals, and she's kind of like fun and a little spunky. Uba, I feel like just really doesn't give us much. We don't get to hear about her dating life. We see that she's doing what, like hot sauces. I don't care. I don't care about your fake hot sauce business. That's not interesting to me. Sai and Aaron seem to be the only two that are interesting to me. I guess Sai, Aaron, and Jezel, the three of them are at least the most captivating on camera. I like Sai. I don't see what everybody's so pissed off with her about. Sai's at least making the show interesting and she's giving us something to talk about, right? And let's be honest, Jezel's husband going to Vietnam for 24 hours. I'm sorry. I think it's fucking weird. And he's like, I need a break from my kids. It's like, well, why can't Jezel get a break from her kids? Why do you have to be the only one that gets to get a break from your kids? Hmm? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got nothing to say now. I think Jezel's overhyped. I like Erin. I think, listen, is she a bitch? Yeah, she's a bitch, but like she's a captivating bitch, right? She's like in the confessional, and she's like, her and Sai. I think people are like, oh, they're the mean girls, they're this, they're that. At least they're giving us something to talk about, okay? Because like the rest of them ain't giving us very much. I mean, is Sai a little snarky? Yeah, she's a little snarky, but like it's not that deep. And I think people are just getting so up in arms about all of it because it's not like the drama's not that compelling. So it's like they have to find a reason to like vilify them. Like they're mean girls. They're being mean to Jezel. I'm sorry. They're calling out the fact that it's weird that her husband's going to Vietnam for 24 hours and just eating banh mi sandwiches. Okay, is that what we're calling them now? Banh mi. He's going to eat the banh mi. Okay, great. Let him go eat some Vietnamese banh mi. I can't. Oh my goodness, you guys. You guys are so funny because it's like Twitter just totally flip-flops on it. Listen, I get it, the mileage and all the things, but it's just does Sai's husband have a mistress? What? Is there some tea? I don't know. I mean, listen, then have Jezel bring it up. Talk about the mistress. Let's talk about the husband. Let's get into it all. Let's get into it all. Let's get it. Get it. Get it. Ew. Sai was the mistress. Got it. Got it. Got it. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, but if somebody brings it up, I think listen, if they come for Sai, I think that would be interesting and compelling. You know, everyone came for Aaron. I think the one to come for is Sai, and Sai will really show up and deliver. Okay, should we talk about Mary? Ruthless and Toothless Mary on Watch What Happens Live. She this So she was just on Watch What Happens Live after the most recent Salt Lake City episode, which I'm going to recap. Josh is he's in Louisiana for the week. He's visiting his family and doing a trip to New Orleans. And so this Sunday, so normally we do our Salt Lake City recaps on YouTube on Wednesday. So we'll be recapping Salt Lake City this Sunday instead. And then we'll get back onto our regular Wednesday schedule following going into next week. But so we will recap Salt Lake City on Sunday. I haven't watched it yet because I like to watch them right before doing the recaps. But I did see like the clip where the editors like shaded Meredith because she was like, "Oh my god!" She was like crying. She's like, "I nearly died." She's like, "I almost fell off a cliff like Tom Girardi. I almost drove off a cliff, and we did it, and we were saved." And then they showed the video, and the editors are like live footage of Meredith's car accident, and they put accident in quotes, which was just so shady as she's literally crying, and then they play the sad music or like the music that kind of like makes levity of it. I don't know if I believe that. I think this kind of leans into Whitney's narrative. Again, I haven't seen the full episode. I've only seen that one clip, but I feel like this kind of leans into Whitney's narrative of being like, she likes to deflect from things by like talking about these horrible things like Shannon and John Jansen. So I thought that was kind of shady. I'll give you more thoughts this Sunday on YouTube with Josh when we recap Salt Lake City. But Mary was on Watch What Happens Live, and it was, I'm going to say, a disaster. This episode was so cringe. Mary was so awkward, so uncomfortable. She talks about, she tries to tell the story of the Dom Perignon 2003, which she kind of tells us on Salt Lake City, but like she's so all over the place and kind of like wacky and not really, she's like, I don't really remember the story. And she's, and Andy's like, trying to like ask her questions to help her, I don't know. I thought that it was a super cringe episode because she was talking about the people that are dying, and then we're celebrating destruction because Z-Way was on it as well. I'm hoping I pronounced that correctly, Z-Way. She was also on the episode with Mary, and you can tell that she was like a big fan of Mary's and like wanted to come into her good graces. So aside from like the really awkward telling of the Dom Perignon story, which Mary kind of botched, but basically my understanding was there was a big heat wave. It killed all these people. It killed all the grandmas and it killed all the kids, but it produced some really good grapes so that when they made the champagne, it was like some of the best champagne ever. Okay, cool. Got it. Then she talks about they're playing Versace or Hibachi, and they're going through different outfits. And, Mary's very unfiltered. And for whatever reason, Mary does not like Heather because clearly, she thinks Heather looks inbred. And so they ask her about Heather's corset, her Gucci corset that she's wearing in the confessional for this season. And Heather's like, no, I don't like that. That's total Hibachi. She's like, I don't even think that's really Gucci. And then Andy's like, what do you mean it's not really Gucci? And she's like, yeah, I don't think Gucci makes a corset in a size 14. And then Andy's like, oh my God, that's awkward. Body shaming or whatever. And, you can tell like on his face, it's like super awkward. And she's like, what? Come on. She's like, it's my opinion. Even if it's not right, like it's my opinion. And I don't think that Gucci makes a size 14 in a corset. She's like, come on, Andy, do you a corset in a size 14? And it's super cringe. All the woke Twitter that was rallying for her and riding for her, I hope they, felt very proud last night. Listen, I know Mary's problematic. I embrace Mary for being problematic. I've always known Mary was problematic, and I will still stand a good problematic housewife. I think we need Kelly Dodd back on OC. I think we need Ramona on New York. I think the chaos. I love Mary on Salt Lake City. They bring chaos and they bring like awkward levity. You got to know what you're expecting. You can't like ride for them when you want to ride for them and then not ride for them when, you feel like, oh, they crossed a line. Oh, my pearls. So there was the Heather size 14 comment, which I imagine Heather Gay's not happy about. And then there's the Filet-O-Fish. And so Z-Way decides that she wants to surprise Mary by, bringing her gift. And the gift is a Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's. Because as we saw when the ladies were in Palm Springs, Mary ordered McDonald's and she wanted a Filet-O-Fish, amongst other things. So Z-Way brings her Filet-O-Fish, and Mary's like, I don't want that. She's like, no, that was like a one-time thing that I did in the Sprinter van. She's like, no. She's like, if it's not fresh, I don't want to eat it. And Andy's like, what? Oh, okay. I guess she doesn't want the Filet-O-Fish. And then Mary's like, no, it's not even fresh. It's only good if it's fresh. And Andy's like, it's still warm. And she's like, Andy, you're going to tell me you would eat that? And Andy was like, I mean, if it were a cheeseburger, sure. And she's like, come on, Andy, really? And he was like, yeah, really. So it was super cringe. I'm curious what you guys think. Storm Door says, I wouldn't have taken the sandwich either. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, who wants? I side with Mary on this one. Don't bring me a fucking cold Filet-O-Fish because you know that Filet-O-Fish has been sitting for at least a minute, and it's a Filet-O-Fish. Like, I don't know. There's something about a Filet-O-Fish that not enjoyable. Chris R says, just Googled Gucci does make corsets in a size 14. Well, there we go. Crack the case on that one. Thank you, Sherlock Holmes. Let's see. Ooh, we have Annabella who's sending love from Sweden. She says this is her first live. You're so funny and seem so lovely. Thank you. Thank you. I promise I have a ruthless and toothless side too. Andy, oh, the why'd you come back comment. How did I forget that, Storm Doris? So there was also a comment where Andy, where a caller calls in. Hi, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Calls in and asks Mary why she came back to the show. She's like, oh, why I came back to the show? To help you guys out. And then Andy's like, oh, and she's like, what? Is that not right? She's like, is that rude? Andy, you have to tell me if I'm being rude. Is that rude? I mean, that was probably my favorite part. Because she clearly did come to help them out. But I think she meant it in a very innocent way of like to help them out because they called me and they told me they could use their help. So, like, yeah, I decided why not help them out. Like in her head, I think she thought like they had told her and convinced her that they needed her. And so she was like, yeah, of course, I'll come back to help you out. So when she said that, she was like, to help you out, but it sounded so much more shady than I think she was expecting it to do. And Andy just being like so like shocked by it, I thought was great. I thought it was hilarious. Um Listen, you have to accept you can't pick and choose when you like them being problematic or not because it's you know, tis what it is. And Mary is Mary. Her delivery is always off. Her delivery just never lands the way she intends it to. But it's so interesting watching her on live television because you know whoever the producers are that have to work with her on the field or have to work with her during her confessionals, you know that that is just chaos. So these like funny bits really are a lot of the editing and the way that they edit Mary rather than because you know Mary is just like mean and rude and goes on these random tangents and kind of loses her train of thought. So that's why when you see her in the confessionals and being like, "Who is Angie?" You know, like all those little things, like you know, there's probably like a whole 4 other minute tangent about all of this. Oh my god, could you imagine a real ultimate girls trip with Ramona and Mary? That would be insane. Ramona, Mary, throw Jezel in there because Jezel I think would also be kind of wacky in that mix. I think that would be insane. Um, okay, should we talk about Jax's? Because I went to Jax's Studio City for the first time, because obviously, because nobody really knew that it was open. But so we went, and interestingly, we ended up running into we as in I mean, actually, Ndub in the live chat right here. Ndub came to LA, and we decided that we were gonna go check out Jax's because I saw Jax last Thursday at the premiere party for House of Villains, and he was telling Josh and I, he's like, it's technically open as of now, so you can go anytime. And we were like, oh my god, we're gonna go. And Josh already gave it to me for going without him. He's like, I can't believe you went without you. And I was like, well, first of all, I was blacked out, so I don't remember it mostly. I mostly don't remember much of it. So to be fair, it's like I've never been to Jax's, even though I was technically there. Um, but so Endub and I went, and so basically the address for Jax's Studio City is Rocco's Tavern. I don't know if you're familiar with it. They have a really popular Rocco's in West Hollywood that people go to all the time. Like Rocco's is it's a popular spot, and so they have a Rocco's in Studio City. Okay, we get there and thinking that we're going to go to Jax's because technically Rocco's is open and there's not an official address for Jax's unless you Google it and then, you know, it just comes up as Rocco's. So anyway, go to Rocco's, walk in, we see the sign for Jax's outside, walk into Rocco's and then realize like, okay, I guess we're not going into Jax's because like there's not a way to go. It's like in a side patio area that's attached to Rocco's. So we go into the main Rocco's and we're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have a drink here. Have a drink, have a bite. I order garlic fries because of course I have to order fries everywhere I go because fries are life. And the guy ends up coming and serving us these very tall cocktails. Okay. Normally when I get a vodka soda, okay. Normally when you get a vodka soda, it's in the short glasses. Well, he decided to give us vodka sodas in the tall glasses. He was telling us something about they had a special and I don't know. He was trying to take me home. I don't really know. But so he served us the big glass of vodka soda. Okay. I was assuming in my head, I was like, oh, it's just served in a bigger glass. There's probably not more of a cocktail in it, right? Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. So we have one, and then we have two. And so that was kind of where I expected the night to end, because I was like, Jax isn't open. I have the dogs at home. It's going to be a quick, whatever. Well, we end up getting a third round. And then we end up talking to the waitress, because we asked him about Jax's, and he's like, I don't really know. It's like kind of open. It's kind of not open. I don't get it. And so we're like, okay, whatever. So then we asked this other waitress, and we're like, what's going on with Jax's? Like, when does it open? What's happening? And she's like, oh, it opens at 5. And we're like, oh, it opens at 5. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, it's 4:45. I'm like, should we just go to Jax's? We have to check it out. It's opening right now. Like, there's no way we can't not go to Jax's. We're already here. We came here to go to Jax's, right? So I'm like, listen, let's just slam this last drink again. Third vodka soda in the tall glass. I'm like, let's just slam this one and then we'll pop on over. Like, we'll be cool, right? Famous last words. Oh, Endub's in the live chat. She said they had a special equals. It was happy hour. Yeah, it was happy hour. And it was a very happy hour. I was very happy. So we slammed the third drink. Okay. Then we decided to walk on over to Jax's, because she decides she's going to give us like a private tour of Jax's Studio City. Maybe I can show you kind of the video. So this is outside of Jax's. I'll describe to you. So it's like an outdoor patio area. It's super cute. It looks a little more bar-y, pubby. There's a lot of like this Beverly Hills hotel style, like wallpaper with like the green leaves. It looks super like kind of dive bar-y, but like a little edgy. And then they have like this picture of Jax when he was all drunk from Vanderpump Rules. They have really cute light fixtures. It's a really big open place. It does feel very like traditional bar-y, because it has like the leather the leather booths. It has a lot of the wood tables. They have like a Casamigos bar set up, and just lots of big TVs everywhere so that you can watch sports. So it does feel, because I posted it on Instagram about the about Jax's, and a lot of people are like, oh, it looks like Schwartz and Sandy's, or it looks, just like, all the other Vanderpump restaurants. I think it's cute. I think it's super chill. It kind of matches the Rocco's vibe. And Rocco's is also, it's a sports bar, so it's a little more downplayed. It's not super pretentious. Like it's not like Pump or Sir or Villa Blanca or TomTom or Schwartz and Sandy's. I wouldn't put it in that category at all. I think it's super chill. You can go there in your baseball cap and your sneakers, go to watch a football game. Like, the vibe is super, super chill. So I thought that it was a cute spot. But anyway, we get a private tour. We go to the bar. We sit down. We order cocktails. And this is at the point where I think I started to black out, because I don't remember much after that. I just remember at one point sitting at the bar, and then Endub's like, oh my God, look. And I turned to my left, and because there was a couple that had just walked in a little bit after us, and I turned to my left. Oh yeah, we saw Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes was sitting right next to us at Rocco's. So yeah, we were hanging out. Well, we weren't hanging out, but we were hanging out at Rocco's, and then Wanda Sykes walked in, and she was having like girls' night with some of her friends. But anyway, so then we go to Jax's, and so we're sitting at the bar. Couple walks in, Endub is like, "Oh my God, look!" And then I turn to my left, and I see a woman sitting there, and she looks like she's dressed, to come watch some football. She's got a baseball cap on. She's got a t-shirt on, whatever. And she recognizes me, and I'm like, oh, hi, yes, it's me, Zack Peter. Nice to meet you. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. And I have no clue who it is, because again, blackout. Like, this is when the alcohol was like starting to seep into the brain, and I just was like not fully coherent. And then I take a second look, and it's Kristen Doute. And she's like, oh my God, hi. And I was like, oh my God, hi. Where did you come from? Like, Kristen Doute just popped out of nowhere and is like chilling. I'm like, what? I knew Jax was going to be there because he was in Boston for his Bravo trivia night. And so we start chatting with Kristen. And everything after this was really a blur for me, which is again why I told you it's not like I really went to Schwartz or to Jax's, because I was, that slammed third tall vodka soda was really hitting. But so chatted with Kristen. I guess I kind of remember talking to her about the spinoff a bit and other things. Apparently, we FaceTimed with Josh like 5 times, which I don't remember at all. literally do not remember FaceTiming him at all. I even saw the call log on my phone the next morning. I was like, huh, that's weird that we have so many phone FaceTimes. And then I was like, whatever. And then I talked to him later and he's like, do you not remember calling? Like we were like calling each other and like you showed us Kristen and then I was showing all my friends in Louisiana that Kristen was there and then they freaked out and they were so excited and everyone was like, ah. So it was quite the adventure. Quite the adventure. I will tell you that. Um, I love how honest and real you are, Kat. Listen, I don't know how else to be, Kat, other than real and honest. But we had a blast hanging with Kristen. I hope I didn't scare her off because, again, I was shit faced. But so, listen, we had a good time. We had fun hanging out with Kristen. She may or may not be coming to the Bourbon Room on November 19th. So you may want to get your tickets right now. Surprise guests in store, but love me some Kristen Doute. She's been on the podcast before, and it was so good to see her and to chat with her and to be Liddy City hanging out with her. Look at there's me and Dub and Kristen because we took lots of cute selfies, but we came to live life and live life we did. Oof. But I highly suggest everybody go to Jax's. It's really cool if you're like local and you need like a new go-to spot. I think it's great that it's attached to Rocco's because like Schwartz and Sandy's, even something about her, they bought these new places and then gutted them and completely renovated them. TomTom Pump, like they completely did it from the ground up. This looks like it's a subsection of Rocco's that Jax is renting out because it's all connected. The kitchen seems to be attached, so it looks like it's all the same property and there's just a portion of it that they're likely renting, which is why they were able to get it up so quickly, right? Because it wasn't like they had to buy the property and get the land and build from the ground up. Like it looks like the bones were already there. They just did a couple of like interior renovations and so we'll see. I mean, it seems like a smart idea to kind of rent out a portion of Rocco's and use that, like Vanderpump Garden or the TomTom, because remember that was TomTom and then they bought the garden. So it's like as if it were TomTom and then somebody got the TomTom owned the garden and then somebody decided to rent it out and call it something else. So isn't Schwartz and Sandy's a bit out of the way? Jax's is near where they live. Jax's is in the Valley. It's in Studio City, so by like Universal Studios. So it's again, it's in the Valley. Schwartz and Sandy's is in Franklin Village, which is more. I want to say it's like it's by the I know it's not far from like the Hollywood Strip because I remember when we were having shows at the Bourbon Room before Scandoval, we were considering doing an after party at Schwartz and Sandy's after the Bourbon Room show. So yeah, it's not the most convenient location. I just think the vibe of Schwartz and Sandy's and the location that it's in just isn't quite a match. Yeah. Yes, and Deb's right. The location of Jax's, which is right next to Rocco's, is on a street that's a lot is on a street that's lot of people bar hop in the Valley. Yeah, it's kind of like the main strip. Like you have the bowling alley across the street. Like it's kind of like a place that you can go and bar hop. They have places to eat, they have bars. So it's in a good spot. And again, it's already attached to a pre-established business, which is already successful, which is Rocco's. So I think Jax's probably has a lot more potential to be successful. Franklin Village, yes, is a lot more up and coming. So yeah, location wise, vibe wise, Jax's is definitely probably better off. Is Sandoval out of Schwartz and Sandy's or was that fake news? Sandoval's was not. I mean, I guess he hasn't like officially been bought out, but I do know he was like placed on pause, which was like a mutual pause, right? Like Greg said you should be put on pause, and then Sandoval also agreed, like, all right, maybe it's best that I kind of take a break. And I think Sandoval's fine with that. Like he's on tour, he's doing this thing with the band, like he's doing his thing, right? I think he's cool. Is Jax's website still being held hostage? I don't believe so. It's what jaxsbar.com, jaxsbar.com. Yeah, it says coming soon, 12514 Ventura Boulevard. Yeah, Ventura's where it's happening in the Valley. In Sherman Oaks, Studio City, like Ventura is where everything's at. So it doesn't say that they're officially open, which is strange because they are technically officially open. So I don't know. that I'm uncertain of. Oof, I switched out my Invisalign yesterday. I went to go see Dr. Gabe Rosenthal. He actually does all the Vanderpump people. He did Ariana's teeth. He's doing my Invisalign right now, and he just made me switch out my trays, and my teeth and my jaw are hurting. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys for today. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me today. Give me a follow at Just Plain Zack all over the internet. Follow the podcast at No Filter with Zack, and get ready because next week we're going to be live every morning. Monday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, and Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific. And then our usual Thursday night lives will now become members only live streams. So we'll have a little cocky, we'll do a little sippy, spill a little tea, and then that'll be uploaded for Apple Podcast members on the YouTube, or sorry, not on the YouTube, on the Apple Podcast. It'll be a members only. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, I love you. I appreciate you. I will talk to you again later this week. Salt Lake City recap will be coming this Sunday when Josh is back in town. And stay tuned. Get your tickets to the Bourbon Room show November 19th, Friendsgiving at the Bourbon Room in Hollywood. Get your tickets at nofilterlive.com. We also have live stream tickets. So if you're not able to make it to the show, you can still stream it live from wherever you're at. All right. Love you. Mean it.